Okay. Wait. Wait. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yo. What up? Oh, God. I'm peeking. Is this about right? Forgot to do my sound test. Okay. Yo. We're back. We're streaming. This is weekly. Have you noticed? This happens every week at the same time. It's regular. It's recurring. It's something you can count on, something you can trust. Not necessarily the content that is within, but you can trust that it will happen, that it will occur. For now. Any moment of any week, I could say, you know what? Fuck the stream. I fucking hate streaming. I don't want to do this shit no more. But I haven't thought that yet. So far, I like it. I like doing the call-in streams. It's fun. It's an excuse to get drunk. For me. Not that I need an excuse. I mean, god dang, I'll drink whenever I so please. Mom, come on, seriously. I don't need an excuse, but I do like it. I do like, it's good to be, drinking and talking to people. I like that. I like talking to people when I'm drinking. In other scenarios, whatever. It's hard to say. It depends. I'm changeable. But right now, I want to talk to people. Later, actually. In a little bit. First, I'm going to talk myself. I'm going to just speak about the topic. What we're talking about today is your schooling experience. Everybody's got one. Everybody's been schooled. Even if you're homeschooled, you got some sort of... Excuse me. Just 1 second. We've all done it. So we got something to share somewhere along the way. We're going to talk about the whole range of schooling, from pre-K to post-K. College, postgraduate studies, whatever the heck you got a story about. Oh, wait. I just got a little bit more. Oh. That was a bad one. Okay. I'm just gonna talk for a second here. I'm gonna go through my schooling experience, the things that I remember. Starting from pre-K, preschool. I went to preschool in the basement of a church. My teacher's name was I had two. They were Mrs. Madden and Mrs. King, I think. I remember Mrs. Madden because like John Madden, who was a big name at the time when I was going to preschool. Mrs. King, I think that's right. I don't remember much at all about preschool, really. I remember the finger painting. I remember the timeout chair. That freaking bullshit. God dang. I'm not saying I spent a lot of time in the timeout chair, but it was there, and I was there sometimes. But the only thing I remember from preschool, really, I remember one time we were doing show and tell, and somebody had brought in a trumpet, and we all lined up, we all queued to give the trumpet a blow, to try to blow a note through the trumpet. And nobody could do it. Nobody. Not even me. And I was so pissed when I tried to blow a note through the trumpet. I tried to blow the trumpet and it just nothing came out. Just like that sad trumpet noise when you don't do it. And I remember being so upset because like I thought that I was so sure that I knew after failing, like, I figured it out. I figured out how to blow the trumpet, but they wouldn't let me try again. No one was allowed a second chance. And that stuck with me because, I really think I could have done something special with that trumpet. I could have been the one guy who blew a beautiful noise out of the trumpet, but it just didn't happen. It wasn't allowed. After that, after the basement, there was the kindergarten is next. I don't remember practically anything about kindergarten. What is that word even? That's got to be German, right? Kindergarten. What does that mean? We were trying to learn descriptive language or something. And I remember I was the only one in class who could say that they had hazel eyes. And I felt very special. I felt like a very special boy because nobody even knew what that was. I was like, hazel? What? Is that a color? I was like, yeah, it's the color of my eyes. It's brown and green. It's different from you. You don't understand me, children. That's all I really remember about kindergarten, though. In elementary school, true school, starting in grades 1 to 5, the two things I sort of remember from that are like, well, I remember one thing actually which was, this was a thing I did in class sometimes in early elementary school, is I would just put a lot of pressure on my head, like squeeze my head really hard because it would make my face really red. And I thought like my head could like I felt like I was close to my head exploding, like off my body, which I thought would be a cool thing. But that was like a trick I used to do, a magic trick in elementary school, was squeezing my head so hard with not with my hands, just like tensing up and make my head start to shake and red. It looked like a machine that was about to bust. I remember in 3rd grade we had some sort of project that was like you had to figure out what you wanted to do professionally in your life when you became a working professional, and you were supposed to research it and learn about it. And I said I wanted to be an international spy, and I did not research it at all. We had to give a presentation in front of the class, and I just totally pulled it out of my ass. Like, I just made up whatever came to mind about what an international spy does. The only thing I remember from the presentation really is that I made a specific point to say that, because you had to figure out how much the profession made monetarily, and I said an international spy makes about $90,000 a year. And I still don't know. I still don't know if that's correct. It doesn't sound right. But to this day, that's my only point of reference for the salary of an international spy, is what I said when I was, I don't know, 8, 9, 10. How old are you in 3rd grade? I don't know. In 4th grade, I remember I got placed into a quote-unquote gifted and talented program. But it was a sham. It was a total scam. It was not. I was not gifted and talented. I was not. And I remember the only thing we did in the program was like they just took us out of class for like 40 minutes, like once a week, and we went to the computer lab, and they made us. It was like a group of 20 people or so, kids. They just made us input data from paper into Excel spreadsheets, and like data that the school needed. I don't remember what the data was, but it was like that was the whole program, was just transcribing data. But they said that we were gifted and talented, so we thought there was something special about it, like we were doing something. But they were just freaking farming out labor. Then later we moved. My family moved when I was in 5th grade. And then in middle school, I was trying again to get into into the new school system's gifted and talented program. And I was for 1 year, 2 years, in 6th and 7th grade, was doing the advanced English program. And in 6th grade, it was great. There was like the quote unquote advanced English. Like we were reading the freaking Iliad and Beowulf in 6th grade. We didn't know what the hell what was going on, what the hell it was about, but it was fun. We had a good teacher, Mrs. Wadsworth. Shout out! I know you're listening. But anyway, that was great fun. In 7th grade, it was getting less fun. It was more work. In 6th grade, a lot of it was just like, these kids don't understand a god dang thing, so this is just fun. We're just making them read Beowulf for fun. And then in 7th grade, they started to have like expectations, which were terrible. I hate those. And you had to maintain like an 85 numerical average to stay in the program, and so I failed out. I did not make it to 8th grade in that program. I remember just in 7th grade, the only thing I remember about that was I wrote a very long, angry paper about how kids in school, my very peers, were swearing all the time. I wrote this very conservative paper about how, like, the kids today are just terrible. They're always talking about gross sex things and swearing, and I think it's awful. And my teacher was actually very supportive of that paper. But looking back, I wish I had access to that paper because it was clearly insane. In high school, when we got to high school, this is sort of my problem with what, I've really never been a good student. It was easier in the earlier days to seem quote unquote gifted and talented because, there was so low expectations. You really didn't have to prove it that hard. You just needed some go-getter parents who were just going to tell teachers on your behalf, oh yeah, my son is very smart. And they're just like, all right, I guess. We don't have any way to test that, really. Like even going back in elementary school, I thought I was in a gifted thing in 5th grade math class. There was like a thing where it was like the back row of students were the smart ones. And it was like they didn't need to be in the front because they already got it. And there were 4 of them. And I thought that I was part of that group, even though I was not in the back row. I was in the next to back row. But I don't know if anyone said this to me or if I just assumed that I was part of that group by proxy. But looking back, I don't think I was, because I was sitting next to like possibly the dumbest guy I've ever known throughout my whole schooling life. But for some reason that didn't stop me from thinking that I was part of that group. But in high school, I wasn't part of any special programs, for sure. They figured out by then that I am not gifted or talented. They did their due diligence. And I just remember about high school, there's no subjects that I was interested in, like that are being taught. There were occasionally like teachers who were interesting people and engaging, and I liked those people, and I could kind of, attempt to get into the subject matter just because out of kinship with the teachers. But there's really nothing. There's very, very few classes I ever took in high school that I was like, hell yeah, I want to learn about this. I freaking love this stuff. I took like one section. There was one section of creative writing, a creative writing class you could take in high school. And that was one of the only classes I ever enjoyed. Just because like it was English, but there was no reading. You didn't have to read any books. I never read the books. I always pretended to read the books. I didn't even read the Cliff Notes. I just assumed. I assumed everything about the books, and it wasn't an effective strategy. But for creative writing, it was like writing without reading, and you just wrote whatever the hell you want, and it was easy. And I enjoyed that. That was like 10th grade. But besides that, really nothing in high school. There were a few extracurriculars that were fun. And that's always been what I always tended towards in my high school and college years, is like not the schooling, but the extracurriculars, where it was more specialized, the interests, and you got to, hang out with people who you kind of liked. That was nice. I went to 2 colleges. The first college I went to for just a semester, SUNY Binghamton. It's a state school. And got to take another creative writing class, which was great. I wrote some bad stories that people, like indulged me on with their badness. I remember at this school there was one comedy troupe, improv comedy, short form improv comedy. I really wanted to be part of a comedy troupe when I was in college, because I wanted to perform comedy for people. I wanted to have a funny group of people around. But they were awful. I went to one show. They're called the Pappy Parker Players, and they do, short form improvisational comedy. And it was so crass. It was disgusting, honestly. I did laugh. I thought it was great at the time. Like I was, because I like comedy. But I remember, it was just gross. Like they were very, very gross. I specifically remember like a fat bearded dude miming, just doing terrible things to a mime vagina with his mouth. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that. To a packed lecture hall audience. And I remember we went afterwards. There was an after party at this bar in Binghamton called the Rathskeller, which was affectionately known as the Rat. The Rat. And that was like the bar for college students, because they were very, very lax about letting in underage drinkers. And I got in there at that after party. I used the ID of an older friend of mine to get in. An older, college-aged friend, not like a middle-aged gentleman. And we got in there, and it was so dark and dirty and horny. It was so horny. I remember I was 18 years old, and I was getting a lot of residual horniness, because everyone was just like getting all dancing up all on each other, grinding, and all the women were wearing these outfits that were just the titties were out, all of them. There was a buffet of college age titties. I did not get involved, really. I was too scared. I mean, I was drinking, but I wasn't like, I gotta be pretty freaking drunk to get over my prude nature. But I noticed all the Pappy Parker players the whole time are just fucking making out with everybody, just fucking touching titties, making out. And I was like, damn, like this is comedy. This is what comedy is about. You put on a kick-ass show and then you touch the titties till you black out. And but later I learned that that's not how comedy works. In my own personal experience, that does not occur. That has never occurred for me. And there was one guy, an Asian fellow in the Pappy Parker Players, and he was the dirtiest of the bunch. Of the Pappy Parker Players, not of Asians, and he had across his chest tattooed the Rathskeller because he loved this place so much, and he worked there for years after I don't want to say graduating college, but leaving college. And then they closed, that bar closed. They got shut down by the liquor board or whoever the hell does that. And I've got no idea what he's up to now. I've been off Facebook a while, but I did used to like to keep up with those guys just because, they seem like campus celebrities. Just like to see them put on a show and then just start fucking making out with everybody at a bar. I was affected by that. Affected. And then after that, I transferred to another school, like a film type, theatery type school in Boston. And that was fine. It was the same situation, though, with all my schooling. I hated the classes. I hated going to class. I hated school. I hated the school aspect of school. I really appreciated the people, because there are a lot of very enthusiastic students who are enthusiastic about entertainment and comedy at this school. There are all kinds of different comedy troupes. They're all over the place. There was, and there's a wide variety, which was nice. It was nice. Made a lot of good friends. But I ended up dropping out of that school because I hated the school. I hated going to class and listening for a short amount of time and then having to go home and do homework. Ugh! What's the deal with that? Come on, man. I don't want to do that shit. I just want to, freaking... Okay, but we did have good times. Good times in college. Lots of good times in college. That was at least a big difference between college and high school, is that you found some friends and you were away from the family, so you're kind of able to just hang out in a more free-form environment. Of course, it does cost several tens of thousands of dollars a year, so there is a sort of trade-off, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Okay, that's the end of my schooling history. I'm going to take a quick break here, 5 or 6 minute break. We'll come back. We'll go to the phones. You'll tell me some school stories. Tell me about, what do you remember about your schooling? Anywhere from pre-K to college or whatever you want to do. As long as it's somewhat related to school. It can be the social aspect or the education aspect. The overlay from the stream is from Slouch. Slouch makes great animations. The link is in the description to his channel. The music from the stream is again coming from Fricko Braun and again from his album Money Machine, which we showed a month ago on the Bitchin' stream, but now I'm doing the second half. This is the second half of the Money Machine album. The link for that is in the description as well. It's all kind of half-finished stuff, but it makes great interstitial music, in my opinion. All right, I'll put the number up to call in when I get back, when you actually can call in. But for right now, we're going to be taking a break, and just wait and listen to this.
barbarians, I'm egalitarian. But feel it twice and I'll show you how I do it. Get A plus for effort, B plus for ass, C cups forever, and thank you for the gas. Good lord, that shit ain't from America. What I expect from a wacko named Erica.
Do you like the Smiths?
No, Buck Morrissey, but most importantly, I'm getting real tired of the Bakersfield. Tender basic bitches must be modern witches, cause their personalities in existence since they ain't no mysticism. I wonder how society allows for this benevolence for chicks without a vital emphasis on forgetting synthesis. Very, very scary, things are getting hairy. Better equip there and declare it imperative. Discretion's aside, I will abide as long as I get to come inside. Argos and Cheerios. Maybe if they weren't so lame though, we could get together and talk some bar talk and name it Cerealio. Argos and Cheerios. Maybe if they weren't so lame though, we could get together and talk some bar talk and name it Cerealio. Argos and Cheerios. Maybe if they weren't so lame though, we could get together and talk some bar talk and name it Cerealio. Argos and Cheerios. Maybe if they weren't so lame though, we could get together and talk some bar talk and name it Cerealio. Too bad they're Baffaloes.
Okay. Okay. I just ended Do Not Disturb mode. We are in call mode. Call 518-288-7938. Tell me about your school shit.
Call from
Joe Cavalli.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press...
Full name. Joe!
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, Joe? How you doing?
Pretty good. Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Pretty serious?
Okay.
Would you grill me on this grill?
Hey, come on, Joe. Why? Don't do this to me, Joe. Don't make this self-referential.
All right, I won't, but I gotta tell you, me and my friends found that video in quarantine, and we've created like a subculture around it.
Good. Glad to hear it. All right, but Joe, you're calling into the SCHOOLIN stream, so you obviously have something to tell me about school, yeah?
Oh, hell yeah. I'm actually on the road right now. I'm driving home from school.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And? How'd it go?
It went okay. I mean, I'm in my field work right now. I work at a hospital doing occupational therapy.
Okay, and wait, so what level of schooling are you at?
Oh, I'm studying for my master's.
Is that part of your schooling then, field work?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a residency.
Okay. What, you said you're occupational therapist? What does that mean?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it's kind of like a physical therapist, but instead of like focusing on like muscle strength and walking, we're more focusing on getting people who like can't do their activities of daily life. So like bathing, going to the bathroom, showering, brushing your teeth, whatever it may be, due to like a stroke or something like that, to be able to do that stuff again.
So their occupation at this point is simply to live as a normal human being.
Yeah, or you could work with children, work on like habituation.
Say what? What was that word?
There's all sorts of different things that you could do with occupational therapy, lots of different settings, but that's the setting that I'm in right now. I work with like elderly people or people who have experienced injuries. Like I had a guy who survived a car crash, and we helped him, learn to walk again and get dressed and whatnot.
And how's the schooling aspect of that been? When you were doing your undergrad, let's say, what were you working on?
Oh, well, your basic like human bio. For me, I actually studied plant science before I went into this. Little tangential, but yeah, you do like your basic anatomy and physiology, kinesiology, like biomechanics, and then there's also some psych stuff that you have to do.
Was it through that schooling that you developed this interest in getting into occupational therapy, or was it more of a necessity, like you're looking for a job?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
Out of undergrad, I worked at a children's rehab and home for a little while, doing like just like an activities job, like running groups and like reading books and stuff like that. And I really liked what the occupational therapists did with these kids, so I went back to school to study that.
You said a word before when you were talking about the children's version of occupational therapy. I didn't hear it. What, habituation? Is that what you said?
Yeah, so it's basically just habilitation. Rather, I misspoke.
Well, no, I just probably misheard. So not the rehabilitation, just straight up habilitation?
Yeah, it's like the idea of just learning a skill for the first time. And so like children with like physical or mental deficits might have to learn skills that kids who are developmentally normal, they might have to learn it differently.
Like what kind of skills?
So like basic like reading and writing skills or communication skills, even like social or like things like play skills too. We're
Okay.
thinking like kids with like autism, stuff like that.
And what were sort of alternate teaching strategies that you had to teach kids these things?
So you do like, it depends on the child. My experience is like with mostly nonverbal children. So we'll do like a lot of communication boards. So sometimes like it'll be just a simple like a picture chart, or sometimes they have like digital communication boards, and you can complicate things by having them incorporate that into different activities.
Okay. And so what do you think is the future, the road for you towards transitioning out of school and into the workforce?
Oh gosh, I mean, I
Yeah.
loved working with kids, but I really like working with the old people that I'm working with now.
Mhm.
I'm hoping to continue at a setting like I'm at, and hopefully specialize in something that really like catches my interest in the future. But I could also definitely see myself going back to working with those same kids because I loved it so much.
So on some level, you're searching, you're waiting for the thing that really catches your interest?
Yeah, I'm at a point right now where I really want to see it all. I get to have another 12-week experience at a different setting. My school decides where that is for me.
Mhm.
And so we'll see. That could even be like hand therapy too, just people with like carpal tunnel or other hand or nerve issues. So we'll see what I get with that. And you know, if I don't enjoy that as much as what I'm doing now, I might dip myself into this kind of a job that I'm doing right now.
Okay. All right, Joe, thanks for calling in.
Of course.
Thanks for talking to me. See you later.
Later.
Joe. Not Catholic Joe.
Call from.
Blue Jaquera.
To accept, press
did
1.
not
To
catch
send a
that.
voicemail.
Yo,
Hey, what's up?
what did you say your name was?
Blue.
Okay, Blue. What up, Blue?
Yeah.
How you doing, bro?
What? I heard you talking about schooling.
Mm-hmm. That's what we're talking about today. You got something to say?
Well, I don't know. I just I watch your videos a lot. I'm with some of my friends. We're about to graduate in like a month. So
From which level of school?
from high school.
We go to public high school.
Yeah, we go to public high school.
Nice.
Big fan, by the way.
Nice, thank you. Well, so you're in high school. At the end of your days in high school, how's the COVID sitch been?
We have to wear a mask, but everything's almost normal.
You're still going in?
It's a nice thing.
It's
So
not.
face to face. We're in Florida, and people
Ah,
don't really.
Oh yeah. We live in Florida. I mean, like a
Nice.
lot of other states have it like a lot more restricted, but yeah, Florida's not so restricted.
Right. I've heard that.
Yeah.
All right, so you're not really having to deal with that too much, really.
No, I'm not really for anything, to be honest.
Although with rowing, because we're on a team, and a bunch of people from our team ended up getting it.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, I mean we've been quarantined like a couple times. People have gotten it, and
Were they
I mean-
feeling it? Were they affected by it, or did they just know because they got a test?
Everyone was affected by it.
Oh, yeah.
People had I'm not sure if this is true, but they said 105-degree Fahrenheit fever.
Ooh, nice.
yeah.
Intense.
So like, I mean, people are, they're not immune. It's a little less. So it's basically like either a common cold or the flu for, I mean, anyone that I've known.
Right. All right. So you're about to graduate then. Congratulations. Are you thinking that you're going to college or are you going somewhere else?
Hey, you want to be a pilot, right? Right, Blue?
I don't know what the heck I want to do, dude. I have no clue what I want to do. All I know is I don't want to have to pay for, because I don't want to pay for college my entire freaking life. I want to have, some sort of flexibility because I don't know what I really want to do. I have those first 2 years to, figure that out.
Okay.
I
so
gotta
you're
pay a
not,
little bit. But
you don't have a college situation lined up. You don't want to do that.
I'm going to like my local state college. Yeah,
Right.
community college.
Sure.
Yeah.
So more schooling is on the way, regardless.
Yeah.
All right. When I was in high school, it was where I was. They were really pushing college for everybody. Like it was very much ingrained in every student that like that's the only way. The only way to succeed is by going to a 4-year school, and if you did anything else, you were going to be in deep trouble, which I don't agree with. Because of the reasons you said, where it's like you're setting yourself up for a lifetime of debt.
And I have a lot of family members, and I have 2 family members who have gone through this. So my brother, he went to SSC for 2 years, and then he's transferred to like a flight school nearby. And I mean, his plans have completely changed since then.
Yeah.
And it was, kind of, I mean, it's kind of been a waste of money to him. And I don't want to end up like that, because that's
Transferring to real estate, right?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I'm fearing. I don't want to
That
like
you'll make the wrong
spend a
decision.
ton of money and have it. Yeah.
Where I'm heading off to college, I'm also getting a certification for something I don't need a degree in, just to sell insurance. Where if that goes well enough, I might not have to continue, but I have a good amount of college paid for already. It's not a full ride, but it's definitely not as bad as tuition would be. Instead of it being $50,000, it's 40 something if it's already paid off per year.
Okay. All right. So you can kind of go and feel it out, see if it's something you actually want to continue with.
Yeah. And it's good to have that option, that freedom, What was it like for you leaving high school? What do you know, 25-ish?
Dude, I'm 28 going on 29.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
It
was not good.
To get to that like that.
I mean, it's the world is weird now. Like in terms of education, I feel like there's an expectation where people want you to stay in school for like as long as possible. And I hate school. I never enjoyed any aspect of the schooling part whatsoever. I enjoyed the social aspect, which like you get more of in college, but like you're paying crazy amounts of money to socialize essentially, and it's not
Yeah, I got to talk about something like specifically about high school.
Sure.
So I was I think it was like my sophomore or my junior year. I have problems talking to my teacher or I just have problems talking to my teachers sometimes. Just like me personally. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of used to just doing the work that I'm assigned, because the way we're taught, at least nowadays, is like, we're given homework. Give us, it's not as much of the teacher. Well, we're kind of teaching ourselves in a way.
Like you're given the packets, you're given the textbook.
Yeah. So
you didn't have any teachers in high school that were like particularly influential?
I had a few that were like, like a couple of my teachers were really cool, but not for, the right reasons. They were fun classes. they were fun teachers, but I feel like I've learned pretty much at the same level. But that's just me.
I guess that's a person.
But basically, like, I did fail like both. I failed 2 classes, like either my sophomore or junior year. I had to retake them online, and I finished them in like 2 weeks. It was a summer thing, but looking back at it, I spent like 8 months, going to a class for an hour and not learning anything, and then I do it online and I get it done in 2 weeks. And
what was it about
it's the same thing.
What was it about the classroom environment that wasn't doing it for you?
It's so they call it virtual school. The curriculum is basically it's a tab. I mean, you click it, all the subjects are like evenly, organized, and it's really easy to kind of review, or it's easy to learn whatever you need to learn. It's all there,
In a way that you feel like you're going to retain it for a while, or just retain it long enough to like take the test and pass the class.
I feel like I've retained it. I don't know. It's kind of, I guess, early to say that.
All right, fair enough. I feel like I had that sort of experience with like my math classes in high school. I found it absolutely impossible to, while in class, pay any attention, retain any information. But then like at the end of the year when I was failing, and it was like I had to pass the last test just in order to pass the class, then it was just like, I'll just spend a couple weeks like reviewing all the packets, and I'll get it good enough to bump my grade up.
Yeah.
All right, is there anything else you wanted to say about schooling? I mean, this is a weird topic. You're in the thick of it. Was there anything in high school or middle school or elementary school, anything that sticks out to you, like that was either particularly bad or particularly good?
So, my name's Michael, by the way, not Blue. I'm his friend. When I was in schooling, for whatever reason, they put me in an ESOL program, although English is my first language, and ESOL is something for English learners.
Right.
And I came to learn later they did that to get more money from our government district, because more funding go to the school. And they put me in a bunch of classes that were like that. I'm just like, I don't know how to speak Spanish. That was the language they thought I knew for whatever reason, even though I've been learning that throughout high school, taking college classes for that. But when I moved school districts to where I am now, then they started putting me in classes with people who could speak in English. I'm just thinking, what a high level of corruption that is. I wasn't learning anything. And I come here and now they put me in classes with people who speak the same language I do.
You have no idea why they put you in ESL classes?
No clue. I'm part Hispanic, but I'm only conversational with Spanish, and I learned that in high school. I only spoke English.
Nice. All right, Michael and the other guy, thank you for calling in.
How do you not remember Blue? He's the main guy.
Blue, because doesn't sound like a real name.
I don't know.
It's his middle name. It's his middle name.
All right, fine.
No, yeah, it's my middle name.
All right, Michael and Blue, thank you for calling in. Appreciate you talking to
We
me.
appreciate your videos.
Thank you for answering, man.
Hell yeah.
This is awesome. Made my day for sure.
I see the notification. I watch the video.
Hell yeah.
Every time.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
All right, see you, dudes.
All right, see ya.
Nice. College, high school. That means next we got to get a middle schooler on the line. Come on, preteens.
Call from.
Kuwait.
That's not a preteen.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Best one. Quate.
Oh!
Quate! Yo!
Oh! What's up?
Shit! Hey, for
Long
those who
time no
don't know,
talk.
oh yeah. For those who don't know, Quate is a regular. Quate has called in to. Dr. Quate was an expert on either one of the Coronacast, but this is regular
right.
Quate. This is Mr. Quate.
This is just Mr. Quate. Dr. Quate is, resting up in the hospital after his, a little run-in with fire. So.
He's rehabilitating.
Yeah, this is his second habilitation, so he's definitely rehabilitating by now.
So, Quate, what is up with you? What do you want to talk about in regards to SCHOOLIN?
Well, you're talking to a genuine smarty pants.
Oh,
I was one of those smarty pants in school. I went to high school and I nailed that shit, and then I went to a super good college and nailed that shit too, and then here I am with the job. So I feel like I was one of the very few people for whom the go to college advice was actually pretty good advice.
You're living it up right now.
I'm kind of living it up a little bit. Still depressed, still an alcoholic, so we'll all have our problems.
Woo!
But woo!
Did
it's
that
only
develop
2:53.
Was that a college development, or were you doing that in your high school days?
No, that was a college. I started drinking when I was you ever go to that website futureme.com?
No.
You know what that is?
Never
It's you can send an email to yourself in the future. So you write send me this email in 2 years or 5 years or 30 days or whatever. And I sent an email to myself when I was 15 to arrive when I was 18, reminding me not to drink because I knew I was in college at that point. I was like, hey, don't. I can actually pull this up. I wonder if I still have this.
Get that queued.
FutureMe. Oh, it's futureme.org. Okay.
It's an organization.
Right.
It's not a commercial entity.
Right. It's no longer. Here we go. Wait, where's the drinking? Okay, I'm not gonna.
So when you were in high school, you were very anti.
I was
drinking?
very anti-alcohol. All right, I found the email. The following is an email from the past, composed on September 5th, 2011. It is being delivered from the past through futureme.org. It says, "Dear Future Me, don't drink today. Thanks, 14-year-old me." And then there's a PS that says, "This was the day I got a blister from soldering on my right thumb. Do you have a scar?" I don't have a scar from that. So
that's
the
whole email?
That's the whole email. It was just a quick reminder about not drinking and about my scar.
You didn't
that I don't have.
Didn't really want to get into it with your future self. You just wanted to have a brief reminder.
A brief reminder that it was very important to me not to alcohol. And now, I'm drinking. I'm not actually an alcoholic. That was brash of me, but I drink a lot, and I'm still in the denial phase of that whole development. And that was indeed a college thing. I started not long after that. I received that email and went, yeah. And then literally 2 weeks later, there was a huge party, and this girl kept asking me to take shots. And she was pretty, so I was like, okay, I'll take shots.
Hell yeah!
And I got wasted.
Nice. That was your first time?
So that was my first time.
Being pressured
by
a woman?
Yeah, it's true. Women have a grip on my life in some sense. Actually, my first so I didn't get that drunk that time. I dipped my toe in the water a little bit, but with that one. But the next week I was like, I'm going to do this again. And the first drink I ever got wasted on was this. It was called the Luka Mernick Special after some guy I've never met. And it's you get a red Solo cup and you fill it almost pretty much halfway with vodka, and then the other half with the blue Gatorade. You ever had that?
Ooh, no. Sounds intense.
At the time, that shit was good. It didn't taste like vodka. It just tasted like spicy blue Gatorade. Has to be blue. None of the other flavors worked. So.
And at this point, that's not what you're drinking, and also it's not women pressuring you to drink.
No women. No, no blue Gatorade. When I need a default drink, I want to ask you what your default drink is. I'm gonna guess it's beer of some kind, but my default drink is probably a rum and Coke or whiskey, just plain whiskey, depending on the time. What's your default drink?
Well, I can't drink rum and Coke anymore because I drank in excess of that in college. I really ruined it for myself. Probably how blue Gatorade and vodka was maybe ruined for you.
Exactly.
It's not something you probably want to go back to.
No.
I can't do that mixture.
Not ruin the rum and Coke yet.
Now I just drink beer, but also because I'm minding my figure, I drink straight liquor.
Very good. Yeah, it is actually much, much better for you to not have any of that bullshit in there.
Yeah, just straight gin. Well, I mean, I'll chase it. I chase it with, energy drinks. But 0-calorie energy drinks. So really, like, I'm coming out ahead. I read that gin increases your metabolism even, so when I drink that.
Yeah, that's that juniper.
It's like I'm
juniper.
I'm practically working out.
Basically, it's a workout for some of your organs anyway.
All right, well, let's not get hung up on alcoholism.
Anyway,
so you are a great student.
Good student, great student. I got straight A's. My high school was lucky. I don't know. I want to ask about yours too here, but my high school graded. So the GPA was out of 5 and not out of 4, and that's because we were doing the APs or whatever. It wasn't AP actually. It was IB. But anyway,
IV?
So IB, International Baccalaureate. It's some fucking hippy dippy European shit.
Ugh.
Yeah, God. Subjected me to that. It was actually relatively hard.
How many IB classes were you in high school?
Every class I took. Every single class I took was IB. Actually, in the first 2 years, they call it MYP, Middle Years Program. So it was IB light, I guess. Although I felt it was harder than IB actually.
How early was your placement in this program? Is that just high school, or was there something in middle school that was like the pre-IB?
The middle years program went all the way from 6th grade. No, 6th or 7th grade until I think it was only 7th actually, until 10th.
So since you were like what 12, you've been in?
Yeah, I've been. I mean, and then before that, I was in the GATE. Not the GATE program, the gifted and talented.
Mm-hmm.
So I was gay back in elementary school.
So like as far back as you can remember.
Yeah, including college. I went to Smart College, and now I'm kind of in Smart Job. And for the first time recently, I've been fucking up a little bit. You know, I feel like a shitty student. COVID got me all fucked up, and I'm not doing well at my job anymore. Brain stopped working, so now I feel like all the dumb kids. I feel like all those kids I used to make fun of for being too stupid. The tetherball has swung the other way, and now I'm getting fucked a little bit.
But you're not in school anymore. You're talking just about your professional life.
Correct.
What about COVID? You're working more from home? It's harder to be motivated?
I'm working entirely from home, which enables me to do nothing even when I need to do things. So I'll, for example, right now I actually officially took the day off. So I'm solid on this call. But other days I unofficially take the day off and, do nothing day after day, which is super fun and really good for me and my health. And my financial career. So but back to school. Let's dive right back into school. I want to ask you the GPA thing. 5.0 is what it was out of. And did your school make A's, A minuses, and A pluses all the same? Did the plus minus whatever matter for your GPA? Do you remember?
In high school?
Yeah.
We didn't even have a GPA in high school. We had the NGA. The numerical grade average, which was
holy shit! You had numbers, bro.
Yeah, just 0 out of 100. And
wow,
I remember everyone told me your junior year is the most important year of high school for getting into college. So I tried decently hard in junior year. I didn't do well. I'm not here to say I did well, but that was the best year I ever did. But generally, you know, I was in the B's. I was definitely a.
You were the B student.
I was real B. It was all B's.
All in the 80s,
around.
right? Your NGA was always in the 80s.
I would do
70s, 80s.
Yeah, I get a couple classes where I got in the low 90s, a couple classes I get in the low 70s or below, right skirting the line between failing.
Yeah.
But it always
Perfect.
averaged out to the 80s, somewhere in there.
Well, that sucks
Hey.
a lot. No.
I loved it.
That's not what I meant. Hey, that's not what I meant. I meant it sucks that it wasn't like it was so like specific. Like instead of getting an A, you got like a 91 or whatever.
Yes.
And you could work a little bit harder and get a 92. That's bullshit. I think that's fucked up.
Thank you.
So
Wait, I wanted to ask you this. Wait. I wanted to ask you this.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have to wrap it up after this because we're going.
Okay.
But
on the timer.
When you were in, so you were in the gifted and talented program, and then the middle. What was the middle one called?
Middle years program in IB.
Middle years in IB, and then the true high school IB. Were there ever people in those classes that were just obviously very stupid?
Yes. Oh yeah. A lot of. Now they weren't like divorced from school stupid, where like they were completely checked out and not coming to school and just fucking around all the time. But they were doing their damnedest, but they were not good. It was maybe like 10-20% of the class was like that. And
seeing those people, did it make you, because you're able to recognize them, did that make you feel better, or did it make you feel worse for being a part of the same thing as them?
Oh, it made me. Okay, so it did mostly make me feel worse, actually. Mm-hmm. But only in one major context. The issue came when colleges. We were applying to colleges, and we would apply to. There were like schools like Berkeley, which outside of California is considered like a super good school. I think Berkeley is considered like you did a really good job if you got into Berkeley. But for people in state, I'm in California, and Berkeley is considered a pretty damn good school as well, but not like amazing. And all these dumb motherfuckers would always get into Berkeley, always. Like again, Berkeley's considered a super good school, and the dumbest idiots in my class there would be like 20 of them, and they would always get into and then go to Berkeley. And so I was like, if the best school I get into is Berkeley, then it was all for nothing. It was like there was no reason to be better than them. I should have just fucked around too. Yeah. So that was the one case where it almost blew back on me. Luckily for myself, I did get into a better school in Berkeley, and so I did get to continue looking down on them.
Do you want to name drop it? The great school.
The great school. Yeah, it semi-doxes me, but I don't give a fuck. It's Caltech, California Institute of Technology.
Woo!
I went there. I got a double major in CS. Yeah, what if I said I went to Berkeley? That'd be hella funny. I did a double major in CS and math. That was hard.
Math is its own major, just math.
Math? Just math, like pure math research. Huh?
Every math.
Yeah, I mean, you could specialize if you wanted to, but it doesn't go into the. It doesn't. It doesn't get written down on your degree. So like I specialized in, check this, I specialized in algebraic topology.
Jesus Christ.
If you ever need an algebraic topologist, then hit up a good old Quate.
I wouldn't even know what to use that for. I don't even know what those terms mean.
Hey, I'll tell you, it's not useful for anything. So I'll give you that.
All right, Mr. Quate.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling in.
Thank you for having me. It's always good to talk to you. Have fun with the rest of the stream, and we'll keep in touch.
Hell yeah.
I'll send Dr. Quate my regards as well.
Great. Thank you for calling in, Mr. Quate. Good talking to you too.
Yep. Bye.
Whoa. Right into another one.
Call from.
Forced boarding school Mike.
To accept,
What?
press 1. To send a voicemail.
Hello? Who?
Hey, I made it on.
Yes, I didn't catch your name. Did you say it was Forrest?
Yeah, my name's Mike. I wanted to give the hook of forced boarding school.
Oh, okay. Well, what? So you went to a boarding school?
Yeah, and I think it was my sophomore year. I had I think like a 0.5 GPA, and I woke up one morning to two big dudes telling me that it's time to leave. And apparently my parents had hired a company, to like bounce my ass to a forced wilderness program in Utah.
Whoa. Okay, wait. All right, so wait. That's the boarding school that you went to, the wilderness thing.
No, so the wilderness programs, they get like a kickback for recommending that you go to a boarding school. So like once you get to a wilderness program, it's supposed to only be like 3 months, but they always recommend a boarding school, and typically the parents take it. So like the first thing one of the kids told me when I got in, he was like, "Hey, so how long do you think you're going to be here?" And I'm like, "I don't know, like 3 months." And he's like, "Nah, you're going to boarding school after this. Like you're not going home until you finish high school."
Okay. All right.
But,
wait, so I'm slightly confused about this. I didn't even know we freaking had boarding school in the United States. I thought that was like a European thing.
Yeah, so there are boarding schools in the United States, but here's where the plot thickens. I'm probably not the best storyteller, so I'll slow down a little bit. But so I was in a forced wilderness program. They send you out to Utah because there are no like children rights in Utah. Like it's one of the states that they can get away with like, "Oh yeah, sure, just sign your child away to a company and that's okay." But the boarding school I went to was in Costa Rica. They sent me out of the country.
Wow.
And
a Costa Rican boarding school for Americans or for everybody around?
For Americans. So yeah, it was just a bunch of gringos over there, a bunch of white kids, troubled white kids at that.
And what was that situation like? This is when you're
It was wild.
Sophomore, junior year of high school?
Yeah, so like transitioning between the two, I think this was 2007 is when I graduated. So this would have been 2005. And it was like a therapeutic boarding school for troubled kids. So like every day you have to talk to a therapist. And then every week we have group therapy where they do this really weird... Everyone goes around in a circle and talks about you like you're not there until every student has been talked about.
In what way? Like, would you start off the conversation like you give you talk about your day and then everyone's like, "Okay, here's what I think about that guy's day."
Kind of, but like, it was forced. So you'll have to sit in a circle with a therapist and then they go, "Okay, Mike, it's your turn." And you kind of introduce yourself, even though these are people you fucking live with. And then after you introduce yourself, the person to your left just essentially talks shit on you. Cause why would you say something nice about someone when you don't have to?
Just they talk shit based on their experience living with you?
Yeah. And it's not all bad, and you have friends. And of course, there's a subculture to it. We got to the point where we would come up with words that we would try to use in our like assessment of people. And I remember before graduating, one of my friends, like before he graduated, because he was a year ahead of me, he was like, "I want you to just tear into me as bad as you can just to see like what the therapist's response is." And I remember saying, I came up with a really good one. I was like, "So, everyone's congratulating you. Everyone's really excited that you're getting out of here. But to me, it just kind of feels like, you're the ship that's about to leave port for the first time, and we're smashing the champagne bottle on it. And as we see you start to leave, 50 feet out, you're already sinking. You're already going under. And all the therapists were like, oh, wow, that's really concise. Like, you really care about this guy. You just want the best for him. And we're just trying to hold back laughter.
Was there like a religious aspect to this school?
Surprisingly, no. But you could say there was like a handful of books that our therapists read that might as well have been gospel. And they were all about like this kind of avant-garde, because they told us the books and I read them. I can't remember exactly what they were anymore, but about how, you should have these troubled students talk about each other. But if anything, it just created a hostile environment.
Or what about like you and the people that you were with? Like, first, I guess start with you. Did you yourself feel troubled beyond, like, I guess what was giving you, what was causing the 0.5 GPA?
Oh, I just hated school, kind of the same as your introduction. It just didn't do anything for me. And I was smart enough as a kid when I was younger that I could get away with not working hard.
Yeah.
And then once like high school hit, a lot of those classes like, oh, I gotta fucking do homework and all this. So instead I would just go drink with my friends.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, I mean, I didn't drink in high school at all, but that was definitely my experience of like you said, like I could easily skate by before then. And then when the homework started coming in hard, that's definitely when my grades started to tank because I hated doing homework. It fucking sucked.
Right? Especially you're there for 7 hours. And then you come home, and every teacher thinks that they're the only class you have. So I had, probably 3 hours of homework afterwards most nights.
So did you feel, what about like the people who were going to this boarding school in Costa Rica with you? Did you feel like you were on the same level as them? Did you feel like they were similar to you?
Some yes, others not at all. Like there was one guy, he never quite admitted it, but we're pretty sure he was there because he raped a girl. And that was just get him out of the country.
Did a lot of these people come from Utah also? The same place?
No. Oh, I'm from California, by the way. They had to send me Utah because I had too many rights in California. But no, they were from all over the country.
Okay. So when you went to the forest, what was it called? The forest?
The actual program, I'll name drop it, was Second Nature. And
Second Nature.
That was some formative 3 months of my life.
What was it? Sounds like Boy Scouts. What was it actually?
Kind of. I mean, I guess a little bit less molestation, but you're out there. So they send you out into the middle of the woods with a backpack, and they drop off food, but you're out there with essentially 15 other hikers, and you don't see anything modern for 3 months. So I was there from October to January, the end of October, early January. It was, snowing. I'm from California. I didn't know what to expect. And the only shelter you have is a blue tarp, like the kind you would cover your car in. Mm. And you learn how to make an A-frame tent if there happen to be 2 trees nearby. And that was also forced therapy. So every night you have to, build a fire, and then you all sit around it. And then the therapists do their, psychobabble because they just got out of college and they thought that, I'm going to change the world, kind of psychobabble.
So was there a lot of schooling or teaching, or was it all very, very much about the forest, living in the wild?
All about living out in the wild. And there was absolutely no schooling whatsoever.
Okay.
While I was out there for 3 months. And most students or like most kids out there, I've kept in contact with a couple of them, and they will never go out in the woods again. And I guess one thing that I gained from it is I love nature now. I wasn't really into it prior, but if I had to go back in time, I'm not sure if I would have made it through those 3 months again. Like, there's something about just not knowing what's coming that made it easier.
Okay. So do you feel like one was preferable to the other, the boarding school in Costa Rica versus the second nature in Utah?
Definitely the boarding school in Costa Rica. Although, it did suck. Your high school or your formative years, especially sophomore, you're just getting the hang of things. I didn't really get to go to a lot of parties and everything. I didn't get to make my high school friends that I hang out with forever because I was, somewhere else for 2 years and then transplanted back after high school with like no support group.
What did you end up doing after that?
I moved around the state a lot, tried going to college. I'm a serial college dropout.
Mm-hmm.
Basically for the same reason. Went to a lot of community colleges, took like a year of classes, and then said, oh, fuck this. And then like a year or two later, I go, oh, okay, I'm going to try again. So now I just lie and say that I'm college educated, and no one checks.
Ah, good. Hell yeah. All right, well, Mike, thank you for calling in. It was Mike, right? I'm sorry.
Yep.
Okay,
yeah, Mike.
Mike, thank you for calling in. Appreciate you calling.
Of course. Thank you. Thanks for answering.
Yeah, have a good one.
You too.
Nice. Boarding school. Forest school.
Called from
Legato.
What?
to accept.
Yo!
Hey, am I on?
You're on. What did you say your name was?
Legato.
Legato?
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Like
Dude, I got kicked out of Yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
Go on.
Not like the cat. Everybody is like, you're a cat? No, fuck.
Legato.
No, I got kicked out of Christian school.
When? How old?
Like when it was my high school. I was in 12th grade, but like they had us all like all the high school kids 9 through 12 were together, and there was like only like 6 kids in that class, and it wasn't even a school. It was a church.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got kicked out of normal school for drinking a bunch of Robitussin and tripping out.
In school?
Yeah. Which wasn't a good idea.
I did that. I did that once in college. Had some Robitussin in my breast pocket because I was sick, but I just kept drinking it.
Yeah, well, I drank like a bunch of bottles of it. I was like tripping out like hardcore.
Nice.
And they kicked me out of school, but I got in this Christian school, and they said they were fully accredited, but they weren't. So they were trying to scam me out of it, and they gave everybody a drug test, and I passed it, and a lot of Christian people failed it, and they got really mad because they were smoking weed.
But you don't do that. You just
chug
Robitussin.
I didn't yet.
Wow.
But either way, they were getting rid of their kids so that they didn't have to like have the consequences of not being accredited when they said they were, because the diploma was bullshit. It was just a daycare. It was just like, it wasn't even a classroom environment. It was a church, and we were in the basement.
What kind of things were they teaching you? Did they teach subjects, or was it just all about God
Not
stuff?
shit. Like, I think they made us read like Pilgrim's Progress once, and that was the only thing that was really like school-like. And they said that was literature class, but that was it. And then they made us watch this really weird-ass movie about like some Australian farm that they showed on TV, like public access. It was bullshit school, for real. But I got kicked out of school for too many suspensions, and that was like being out of class, out of curfew. Like, dude, I told her like finger to chicken, like that's the baptism bowl. And that was like blasphemy. And
wait, what? What?
Well,
You did what?
Well, I was
Where?
a high schooler, right?
Yeah.
And there was these and there was high school chicks, and I totally fingered a chick in the baptism pool instead of being in class, and like
In the baptism pool?
Yeah, the tub.
Like it was full
They
of
say
it was full of holy water?
It had no water in it. It was just like a tub, and it was just like behind the what should we call it, tabernacle or whatever.
Sure. You
But
were
that's no-
fingering a girl, and who found you?
Nobody caught me, but they heard about it, and I got suspended. But what I really got kicked out for was because I called the cops on the principal.
Oh.
Because they were kicking out kids left and right, but they couldn't kick out me because I was just keeping to myself, listening to my CD player, like, and they would pass me like packets, and I would just fill them out really fucking quick, and like they didn't even want to check them. So it's like they were like, shit, we don't actually have a reason to kick them out. So they went after my CD player. They said, you can have this back at the end of the year. And I said, I'm going to have it back now. And I called the cops. And the cops came and made the principal give me back my CD player. And they
really?
expelled me. Yeah. Because he pulled up and it was just a church. I was like, that's the guy. He did it. He has my CD player.
Yeah, what was your 911 call like? What were you explaining to the emergency services?
Well, I called up and I was like, hey, this grown man just came up and took my CD player, and he said, I have to deal with it. Because he did say with that. He said, you'll get it back at the end of the year, deal with it. And I was like, he told me to deal with it. And like, I'm not related to this person.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like,
you didn't explain to them that you were in school or anything like that?
Nah, because like it was a church, but it was like I'd say like a mile about a mile from a mall. So there was like stores and shit. So it could have been legitimately like I was just walking around. Like, you know, there's houses and shit. And as soon as the cops pulled up, I was like, that's the guy. Because he was arguing me outside the church, and I was like, I called the cops on you. You're going to get in trouble. And he was like, no, you didn't. That's stupid. And I said, yes, I did. I used a church phone. I called the cops on you.
And they came in and they reconfiscated the CD player and gave it back to you?
Yeah, they got there, and he was up front, and they were like, did you take this this kid's CD player? He's like, yeah. But he's a part of the school. And I was like, this ain't a school. And I was like, I just want my CD player and I just want to leave, man. And he gave it back.
God
but
damn.
I got expelled.
All right, so they kicked you out. That was your senior year, you said?
Yeah, but I got my GD. And then I went to massage therapy school. And that's a whole other thing. You should get more colors, though. Let them say. But that was my...
I do want to hear a little bit about massage therapy school, and we'll wrap it up. But how was that?
It was actually more lame than you think. It was like Eastern medicine sciences and stuff. They would come in and be like, "Hey, we're going to do these stretches. You got to feel the energy in your hands." Mm-hmm. It's called qigong, and like they would do like it's kind of like yoga, but it's like they thought they had Jedi powers or something.
But you're working towards like a certification of some kind?
A certification to massage therapy. But it went left somehow. It got into like spiritual science and shit. And like I was like, I just want to rub on naked ladies, man. What the hell's going on?
So did you earn your certification?
Hell yeah, I got like perfect grades. I was the top of my class, and I totally passed the exam. I kicked that exam's ass. I was so stressed. But to come to find out, there's no market for a creepy ass dude to rub on naked ladies.
I was gonna say, like, do you like how much importance does the certification have? Like, is that something you just hold in your hand and then you go up to the woman and you're like, look at this, I got it right here. This is my proof.
Well, it expired like in 2015.
Oh,
like I ain't even worried about that anymore. But I got like a kick-ass job, so I ain't worried about it.
All right, good. Last question I have for you then. In the final test of the massage certification school, was there a live body that you had to work your magic on?
Not in the final test, but I had to do like clinical hours and work on like lots of people. Like I had to make like 1,000 clinical hours, and that was either on different students or people who would come in to get a massage for really cheap.
Was that a good way to meet people?
Apparently, but I was actually trying to make a career. Everybody else was fucking each other.
But you weren't in that?
No, I wasn't. I took it seriously. That was the one thing I took seriously in my entire life. And I swear to God, I could have got laid so much. I'm really pissed at myself, really.
All right, Legato, thank you for calling in.
All right, catch you later, man.
See you, dude. Nice. That was a varied and interesting story. I think I turned on Do Not Disturb mode. Sometimes Google likes to give me one last call here. No, we're safe. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with more calls. This is like, I don't know. This is a slightly longer break, 7-8 minutes. Then we'll be back. Okay. We are back. Do not disturb mode has been turned off. Call in 518-288-7938. Tell me about your schooling. Okay.
Call from
Joe.
Another Joe? Was that Joe?
This is Joe.
Oh, I know this Joe.
You know this Joe.
Joe,
All the other Joes are just posers.
Joe. Did I ask you this before? How do you always get in?
Yeah, you don't remember my answer?
Yeah, I don't remember anything about these streams.
You don't remember me fucking, like, how insulted I was? That you
Okay,
don't, that you think I don't know how to operate a fucking phone?
Yeah, you call.
I don't know why we have to rehash this.
All right, fine. All right, Joe.
God fucking damn it.
Okay,
I was
Joe.
in such a cherub-like demeanor. I was in such a sanguine mood, and now I'm just, why did I even fucking call?
I'm not trying to set
Why
you
did I
off.
call?
I'm not trying to set you off, Joe.
I had a Hostess cupcake. I was in my comfy tight pants. I had my comfy jacket on. I was feeling good. And then you got fucking this guy over here telling me I don't know how to work a fucking phone.
Joe, you're a polarizing figure on these streams. Did you know that?
How do you know that you're not the polarizing figure? Why does it always got to be the Catholic? Huh?
I didn't say it's because you're Catholic.
It seems like it. I don't
didn't
know.
say
none
that.
Of these other calls come out to this horrible start. It just seems like it's only my call.
All right.
that
Okay,
start off as
wait.
like
Joe,
a fucking abortion.
All right, okay, wait. We got off on the wrong foot here. First of all, Joe, it's great to hear from you again.
As always. Great to hear from you, too. My favorite internet degenerate.
Oh, thank
the
you.
missing hairpiece himself.
Thank you. All right, well, Joe, you're calling into the Schoolin stream now, as you've called into every stream thus far. You've always got something to say. So what
Let
do you
me know
have
if you're sick of me. Just let me know.
No, not at all. What do you have to say about schooling? I imagine, though I don't know, you went to maybe some sort of Catholic school?
No, are you kidding me? I went to fucking public school like the rest of us.
Oh, okay.
Fucking a cattle. Yeah.
How was that for you?
No special Catholic school for me. It was, it was fucking whatever. I mean, shitty facilities. Teachers didn't give a shit. We just did whatever we wanted. It was great. Didn't learn much.
You never had any specific teachers who were influential to you? That really got to the core of Joe?
Really spoke to me like fucking, what was it, like Robin Williams in that movie? What was it?
Patch Adams?
Oh, yeah. Something like that. Or like Dead Poets Society or something like that.
Yeah, that's
No, I didn't have any Robin Williamses in my life, unfortunately. It was all just fucking guys who were there just sort of waiting for the clock, same as the students, waiting for the clock to turn 3. I had some good professors in college, though, I'll say, which is good because I paid a fucking buttload of money for them, so they better be good.
Specifically in subjects you were interested in, or just they were good professors regardless?
Well, it depended. I mean, it's not like I picked the best subject. I mean, I was an economics major, so already the subject's pretty boring and terrible. And most likely 9 out of 10 times you're going to get a guy who's either boring or terrible, or he's so exciting that he forgets to teach you about economics.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty much my experience going through undergrad in my other degree.
The good professors you had weren't good teachers. They were just good friends.
Well, no, they were just they're just all right. They weren't great at, like, you don't get to be a professor because you're great at communicating material. I mean, that's not what makes you a professor. What makes you a professor is either you publish something, or maybe you did something good in private industry, and now the school thinks that you're like a big prestigious name to add on their docket or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like it has nothing to do with your actual teaching ability.
Mm-hmm.
If that were the case, then it'd be a bunch of fucking education majors teaching everybody the material. I wouldn't have a specific economics professor or whatever. It'd be a bunch of fucking people who went to school specifically for teaching.
Well, where are the good teachers then? If you never encountered them pre-college or during college, where are they?
Oh no, I encountered a few during college. They just happened to be good. Like I remember the guy who taught me Shakespeare was nice. He was a good teacher. Definitely learned a lot of Shakespeare. Didn't really have anything to do with my major. Didn't really help me in my career. But I learned a lot about Shakespeare, so that was nice. But I don't know where the other ones are. I don't know. If you find them, I don't know. Just let me know, I guess. Maybe I could go back, get a real education.
I guess
next
they
time
gotta
around.
I guess they got to be around somewhere.
I don't know.
Why do
Maybe
you
I'm
think
just too
people? Why do you
critical.
think people get into education then?
Well, there's the old saying, right? Those who can't teach. But I don't know.
You screwed up.
Maybe,
It's those who can't do teach. That's the saying.
No, those who can't, teach.
Oh, okay. All right.
Right? Isn't that the saying?
Well, you didn't put it a long enough. Okay, I'm nitpicking.
Oh,
I'm nitpicking.
Oh man!
All right, I'm
man.
nitpicking. Joe.
He's tip for that bullshit. Oh my
right.
gosh! I thought we were fucking shit.
No,
on
I
the
feel
school system,
comfortable
not on my
doing this
feet.
with you, Joe, because we know each other on a personal level now.
Yeah, we have a deep connection now because I keep fucking calling in on your stream.
I've talked to you for
Stealing
like
the slot
60
from
plus
Storm-
minutes.
I feel so bad. I know there's some poor slop on the phone. He's thinking like, this guy's been on 6 streams and I haven't been on 1. To that guy, I say, fuck yourself.
Nah, Joe. We love hearing from you, Joe. But so, what did you want to talk about specifically then about schooling? What something that's really bad, really good? Did you just have a totally mediocre experience?
Well, no, it was up and down. Honestly, I shouldn't shit on school so much because the only reason I'm where I am is because of school. So I
Because
shouldn't
of your
be
degree
super
or because
critical.
of schooling?
Partly, a little bit because of the degree, mostly because of the college, and then a lot to do with the career fair that I went to because of the college. I got access to my employer that way, got to go to a few interviews, and then I got the job making PowerPoints that I have today. So I really have a lot to thank for my college.
For the
As much as I hate to
connections,
admit it.
the connections
Yeah.
that it gave you?
Basically for the connections and the prestige, not for the education. There's literally almost nothing that I retained from my economics education that I actually use in my day-to-day work.
Was it something that your college set up for you, like through the staff, or was it through the people you became friends with in college?
No, it's just you went to school, right? I mean, you remember the career fairs that they had every now and then?
I didn't go to that fucking shit. You kidding me?
Too cool for that shit? I
Hell
don't need
yeah.
no fucking job.
I worked at Target most recently.
How was it?
On the floor. It was bad. It was bad. It was a regular, normal, bad job. But, well, then tell me about your social life in college, Joe.
Well, okay, this is where I did learn something about me.
Mm-hmm.
So social life was kind of cool. I was definitely went to more parties as an undergrad than I did as a master's student, which I think is the case for mostly anybody, because by that time you're like an adult. You just want to get the fuck out of there and get to your real job.
Mm-hmm.
You're not there to fuck around and party and do a bunch of drugs and drink. But that wasn't the case when I was a freshman in undergrad.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking to have that whole Van Wilder whatever stupid college experience, and I got it briefly. I remember going to the what were they? It was like the lacrosse team. They were having a party. They had a big win and they were celebrating. And it was all these fucking seniors, and I was basically attaching myself to the hip of this senior chick that I liked at the time.
Mm.
So I ended up getting extended an invitation when she got extended to an invitation. Oh boy, oh boy.
Freshman Joe and the senior girl?
Oh yeah, it didn't work out. I mean, believe it or not. But I sure as hell tried. I definitely tried. But anyway, I went to this party, and it was a lot of fun, a lot of drinking. That's back before like White Claws. I know that's like the big thing now. I feel like an old man saying this, but like I don't remember White Claws at all when I was in college.
Mm-hmm.
But I know it's big now. Back in my day, TMH, it was strawberries. Do you remember like the strawberries?
The pre-made ones in the can?
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
I think Budweiser makes them or something.
Yeah, and they had the limeritas too. I've puked those up a couple times.
Well, this is okay. This that factors into my story. So strawberries galore, and I like them. They're sweet. I like the taste of strawberry. And it barely tastes like booze. So I'm just pounding them down, and they're these tall ass cans. So I'm just having one after the other. I'm having a good time. I think I'm getting funnier as I'm drinking, but really I'm just getting dizzier
and louder.
And and louder. It comes to the point where I'm getting so sick where I can't be where the party is anymore. Like I can't be inside. It's just too damn warm, and it's like the warmth is just making me sick. So I have to go outside and like have the cold air like breeze in my face. But one of the friends I'm with, she keeps dragging me inside because she doesn't want to like lose track of me because she knows I'm fucking belligerently drunk. So I keep going back and forth between, you know, the inside and the outside, the inside and the outside, and it's just not doing anything for my stomach. So finally I run outside. It's like on the second story. I run outside onto the balcony. I lean over the balcony and I'm just vomiting all my strawberries, just vomiting all out, like down the second story, right in front of like, I don't know, the person below us apartment. Pretty embarrassing. But I was so drunk I had forgotten that I was drinking strawberries all night. So when I saw the torrent of red come out of my gullet, I thought I was just dying. So in a fit of panic, well, I wasn't really panicking. Like at first I panicked, but then I thought, well, I guess I'm just gonna die. So I turned back around and just kept drinking. And it was only when I miraculously woke up the next day that I realized, oh, it was just a strawberries. I don't actually have to go to the hospital. This is a miracle. There is a God.
Was this one of your first drinking experiences, or were you drinking in high school?
I drank a little bit in high school. I was sort of the bad influence. I'm the one who raided like my aunt's liquor cabinet, like as a 16-year-old, just fucking around with my cousins, getting drunk and swimming naked in the pool, that kind of stuff.
Nice.
Oh yeah, those are the days, man. Now it's just fucking
naked with you and your cousins.
Yep. Not weird at all. It's totally normal growing up stuff. It's male bonding time. Male bonding time. That's what we called it.
Hell yeah. All right, Joe, do you have any last thoughts here on your schooling experience? Is there something you want to impart, some wisdom you want to impart to people who are watching the stream who know you as a familiar name? They know Joe. They know you're a great guy. They love you. What did you want to say to them about school?
So this is my time to influence their minds for the better, to spread some of my wisdom. All right, let me do it. I'll do it quick. This is my PSA. Don't go to school. Don't go to higher education. Fuck it. It is not worth getting into that much debt for a degree that is not going to differentiate you from anybody else. The college undergraduate degree is the new high school diploma. It means nothing. Too many people have it. If you really want to differentiate yourself, you're going to have to go all the way to a fucking master's degree or like a doctorate, and that's just way too much schooling, and you shouldn't need to have 24 years of schooling in order just to enter the goddamn workforce. It doesn't make any fucking sense. No other generations had to do this. Don't fucking get swindled. I've known guys who were plumbers, who were linemen, who were electricians. They went to apprenticeships. They went and they got a real tangible skill, something that society actually needs, and they make great money without having to go to any of that debt. And even though it kind of worked out for me, I got all this, I got a decent job making PowerPoints. It's kind of easy, cushy, sit on my ass all day. My skill is fucking vapor. It's nothing. I'm superfluous. I'm not needed. Businesses don't need me. They don't need consultants to fucking operate. The society doesn't need consultants to operate. What they need are people with actual skills. Carpenters, plumbers, linemen, like I said. So if you're listening and you're in high school and you're wondering what you should do, fucking learn a real goddamn skill. Don't fall for this bullshit. And that's all I got.
That's a great final word. But I do. Oh wait, what does lineman mean? Do you mean offensive lineman, defensive lineman in football?
No. Like electrical linemen, like the people who work on the utility poles.
All right.
I worked for a power line company, and those guys, you just join a union, you fucking work hard, and you make great money after a few years if you just are not a fuck up. Just don't be a fuck up, and you could make a lot of money doing one of these trades.
All right, Joe.
Anyway. I'll leave it at that.
That's great. Thank you for calling in, Joe. It's great to talk to you. Always great to talk to you. Joe knows I'm just fucking with him. I love talking to Joe. This is like the highlight of my Friday. Talking to Joe. We got to get Tim in, though. I mean, Tim was trying to call in last time, and he didn't get through, and it's not the same. It's not the same. If we get just Joe and not Tim, it's like, it's not right. It's not right. We need the balance. Got all these calls coming in through, but none are getting through. Coming in, but not getting through. If I don't get a call here in a second, I'm going to have to call someone back. 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, I'm calling someone. This person.
Hello?
You!
Hey, how are you?
What up? You're on the stream.
Holy shit, I finally made it on. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I was waiting for a call and none they were coming in hot, but none were coming through the line, so I had to take matters into my own hands.
Oh my god. So it's great to finally be on. Shit, I'm so nervous now.
What's
what do
your
I
name?
do?
What's your name?
Oh, it's Elise.
Elise, great to talk to you, Elise. You're on.
Hey,
You're here.
Oh my god, and I have so many things. I mean, I feel sort of intimidated. Joe really knew what the fuck to say.
Joe, that's because he does it every single week. He's used to this by now. Like, he's always on.
He's practically your co-host now.
Dude, that would be great. I would love to have Joe in the room with me, just cracking wise. Get him his own microphone.
Yeah, he can be your Paul to your Letterman.
Absolutely. If we got Joe his own keyboard and he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, but he's just like, hey, like, this is my job now. All right, so Elise, you're calling in. Well, okay, so you called in, but I called you back. This is the Schoolin stream. Did you have something you wanted to say about Yo Schoolin?
Let me think. I had some crap that I did want to talk about. I sort of want to piggyback off what Joe said. And the thing is, it's not just trade school that's another available option in regards to college. I totally agree with him. College and university in general is kind of worthless nowadays. I went to school for English, which, goes to show I had no fucking clue as to what I actually wanted to do with my life, if that's saying anything. I ended up being a project manager, and I'm actually thinking about making a career transition now to do more creative shit because I hate what I do.
What is a project manager? What do you do?
It's basically, he said that his job is essentially vapor, and that's a pretty good summation of what a project manager does. A project manager is the person who gets shit done, essentially. And the problem is that it's efficient now for me. Like, it's not a headache of a job for me anymore. It was when I first started because I had no idea what to do. I had no idea. It's like, to be good, you have to be diplomatic and work well with people and manage stressful deadlines and that sort of thing. But the thing is, it's horribly boring and it's tedious. And the worst part is that you're the person, like if you work in a tech field like I do, the client doesn't talk to developers or any of the background people. The project manager is the person that they talk to. And a lot of times, most of my clients are pretty good. They're nice people, but some of them are fucking assholes. And so as a result, I'm the person who has to, if they're throwing a hissy fit about something, I have to soothe their tempers, for lack of better words. But again, it's boring and it's tedious.
Are you making PowerPoints like Joe, or are you you're facilitating between the company you work for and their clients? What exactly are you doing?
That's essentially what it all breaks down to. It's PowerPoints, Excel spreadsheets. It's pretty much my whole job can be done with Microsoft Office Suite.
And
I'm chained to my computer all day.
And how did you finagle this through school? Was it something that you got because of connections you had in school, or was it totally divorced from school?
Totally divorced from school. I actually got this position because of a friend of mine. And before that, I just did like project coordination stuff. I went to school mostly because my parents wanted me to. And I think that that's actually the case with a lot of people who go to university nowadays. They all just go to school because their parents want them to, or they want to live out like whatever You know, if their parent wanted to be a doctor and they want their kid to be a doctor, their kid goes to school to become a doctor because their parent wants them to. Not because they actually care about it, but because it's something that their parent can brag about at the next wedding that they go to some distant relative who they really never fucking, you know, they don't give a shit about them, but they really care about their opinion.
So is it important for your parents or it was important for them to have you go to college? Did they care much about your major, or did they just want you there?
Well, my mother, she was, you know, she was nice about it, but here's the thing. My father is Middle Eastern, and when it comes to Middle Eastern fathers, their children can have only one or two careers, or both, ideally. You either become a lawyer or you become a doctor. Anything outside of that, you're a failure in the family.
Mm-hmm. So when you told your father that you were going to school for English?
Oh, he lost his fucking mind. Told me that I was a disappointment and that I was simply wasting my potential.
Hmm. And what do you think? I mean, at this point, you're saying you're kind of against college.
Because the thing about it's another good thing that Joe said, it's all about networking. It's all about social ties. In college, I went to, I'll just fucking say it because I really don't give a shit if I dox myself. I went to West Virginia University, and West Virginia University at the time that I went was the #1 party school in the United States. Nice. And the only thing I really learned when I went there was how to push like a burning couch out of a 3rd-story window.
Do you feel like that's a valuable skill? Is that something that's stuck with you though? Post college?
Oh yeah, man. When the apocalypse happens, I'm gonna have something to push out the window onto the horde of zombies below.
But what about that social experience? Do you think that was valuable? Like, did you make lasting friends, or did you have experiences that you look back on fondly?
Yeah, actually, I did. To be fair.
Elise, I'm losing you. You're crumbling into static. Elise, wherever you just went, it's a dead zone. I can hear you so distantly, but I can't hear the words you're saying at all. Elise, go back to where you were. I can't hear you. I can just hear the faintest echo of your voice, but I can't hear you. You have to go to you've got 10 seconds to get back to where you were, Elise, so I can talk to you. It's not working. All right. I'm sorry, Elise. You'll see this on the stream. If you look back.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
You're back. I was so close to hanging up on you. My God.
I'm so sorry.
What happened? Where did you go?
Oh, it's my Bluetooth. It went to my Bluetooth. Here, I just turned it off. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. Okay, so we didn't hear any of that. The past 30 seconds.
Oh, I am so sorry. Long story short, college did help. I was totally socially retarded. And, you know, it was a lot of crazy shit that went on at where I went to university-wise. And, you know, I just learned how to talk to people because I was put in a lot of crazy situations where I had to talk my way out of it or talk other people out of it.
Drinking party type situations?
Oh, God, yeah. Probably the best one that I ever went to where I had this friend of mine. He owned this trailer that was practically out in the middle of this, like, it was like this huge, like, forested, bumfuck nowhere area. And it was just this tiny, broken down trailer. And every fucking weekend, this dude had literally at least 100 people packed into this tiny ass trailer. And they were some of the best parties of my life because all we did was just drink and just do crazy shit like what I was talking about with like the burning couch and all that. And like when people passed out on the floor, putting them in dresses and shit like that. It was fun. I mean, it was stupid a lot of times, but it was fun. And I was a total prude. I did none of this. Like, I was a virgin all throughout college. I'll just tell you that.
Nice. Hell yeah. That's always good to hear. It's always good to hear, people maintaining their virginity throughout college. The whole time?
The whole time. This is embarrassing.
But you
I
could have
don't
told
care.
your dad that. Like, that would have pleased him, right?
Dude, my dad's nuts. He would accuse me. He'd be like, "Oh, I bet you're over there fucking every guy." And I'd be like, "That's like the complete opposite of what I'm doing." He's a nut bag.
So you were learning social skills without having sex, casual sex.
I know.
That sounds like the ideal.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know.
I honestly wonder sometimes if I wasted that college experience because, I could have gotten laid a lot more often. I should have. I probably would have learned a few more things by now.
Do you think that? Do you honestly think that?
In my deepest, darkest moments, yes. For most of the time, no. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
It at least saved me from getting chlamydia a couple times, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like the party in the trailer with 100 people, that's like a breeding spot for chlamydia, really.
Oh, man. The whole town, to be honest, is fucking... I lived in a dorm with a bunch of girls who later on, in our college years, they went on to, be in sororities and stuff. But my freshman year of college, I was in a dorm. I was the only person who had a room. I didn't... everybody else had 2 people to each room. I was the only person with a single room. And my dorm room, my dorm was, full of hot girls. I'm talking, fucking... Playboy mansion hot girls. I don't know what it is in the water in West Virginia, but man, no wonder cousins fuck each other because some of these girls were fucking hot. And they would come to me because they would not go back to their dorms because they usually, their roommate would be there, fucking somebody or crying about somebody that they fucked. Mm-hmm. And they would come visit me at 3:00 in the morning. And I had this one friend of mine. She was such a dear girl. And it's so funny seeing her nowadays because she's totally a wholesome granola mom. She posts a lot of pictures of her baby, and she's like, I knitted mittens for my child. But the thing is that back in college, she was the biggest party girl, and I remember just her banging on my door at 4 a.m. telling me about how her boyfriend got mad at her for kissing another guy on the dance floor and shit like that, full out sobbing, and I would just be sitting there just listening to her. And then I sort of avoided getting laid in college because the type of guys, there are nice guys there, but the average West Virginian boy is the kind of guy, he makes love to you in the back of his pickup truck with his thick wrist, and he's got a dick a dead baby rabbit. He just shoves it into you. I wasn't into it.
Were you like the rock that your roommates could come to because you were steady, you were going to these parties, but you weren't getting involved in the dirty, disgusting stuff, so they knew that you were someone they could talk to?
I don't know if it was dirty and disgusting. It was probably...
Well, you just talked about
good.
Dead rabbit baby dick. That sounds pretty gross.
Yeah, I'm disgusting. The activities, having sex and all that, is not disgusting. But I think, yeah, maybe I was the rock. I was just the person who didn't get laid and didn't do... This is how embarrassing, how bad I was at college. When I used to smoke pot with people, it's so cringe, but I used to blow smoke rings instead of inhaling. That's how, it's retarded, I know. I told my sister that, and she's a huge pothead, and she was like, why did you do that? No wonder.
You just wanted to seem like you were smoking pot.
Yeah, I think what my entire college experience was basically just a very sheltered like space alien attempting to learn how to be human.
And do you feel like it was successful?
I mean, I still feel socially retarded a lot of the time, but I have way more confidence about it.
All right. Elise, thank you for calling in.
No problem, man. I'm so sorry. I'm so nervous. I just get so excited at the fact that you call.
Oh, you're all good. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I called you. You didn't even call in. Well, you did, but then I called you back.
Oh, well, I hope to talk to you again, and good luck with the stream, man. Take care.
Thank you, Elise. Thank you for talking to me.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Nice. Yes. I didn't go to one of those famed party schools, but of course there were parties. I feel like it goes on everywhere. But yeah, you do hear about like those kind of schools that are known specifically for partying. I gotta wonder what the hell's going on there. It sounds like trailer fucking in the back of a pickup truck. I don't own one of those. But maybe that's what's holding me back. Or what was holding me back in college. Only had sex and relationships, besides one time. But yeah, college. Like I was saying earlier about the comedy, I thought that was gonna be, like you do a performance and everyone's laughing. You'd think they want to have sex with you, right? But no, not in my experience. Google is fucking up right now. I see all these calls coming in, but they're not coming through. I'll wait a moment here because I want this to work. I have everything correctly set. Oh! Yeah. One more. One more. One more. That was internal burp. Google, stop fucking up. Give me the calls. Let them through, baby. I have to call someone back again. 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, fine. I don't care. Oh, this one. Different area code. Come on, man. You just called me!
The Google subscriber you have called is not available.
Son of a gun. Alright, I'm waiting. I'm not calling anyone. I refuse to have that embarrassing thing happen to me again where I call someone and they don't pick up. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the call to come through. Gives me a second to drink my beer. More burp time. Google. What the hell is wrong with you? I'm getting pissed. Alright, fine. Calling someone back again. Last one. Person who just called. You better freaking answer.
Hello?
Yo!
Hey, what's up, man?
Yo!
Good to hear from you again.
Who's this?
This is Dan from the Religion stream, buddy. What's up?
From the... Oh, shit, Dan?
Yeah, we got cut off once you asked, like, the most, I don't know, like, well-worded, introspective grand question of all time.
Oh my God!
And before,
Thank you.
Yeah, and then we were left with eternal silence.
Thank you for saying that I asked a good question. I don't remember it at all.
Oh God, it was so perfectly worded. It was about your personal experience with like your grandfather and stuff, because we were talking about I don't know, releasing karma or whatever. Yeah, it was great. It ended up being a perfect moment. I was dying to answer, but like there's nothing I could fucking do.
All right, well, Dan, you
and
called
real quick,
it. Yeah, go on.
Oh, I was gonna say, before I go into their SCHOOLIN, like my notes last time about the dreams is that like I found this little piece of paper, and the first line just says, "Catholic Joe's entire life is a lie, like created by the Romans, the Flavians, and the writings of Josephus." So
do you believe that? You don't.
Yeah, I really do. Like, I think I think Jesus was real, but they basically the whole point of that movement was to quell the militaristic, violent, messianic Judaic movement at the time, which was saying that our leader is going to come and it's going to crush the Romans and it's going to lead to. And so they were like, nah, they want a Messiah. Let's make him white. Let's make him like turn the other cheek. Like, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, what sense does that make? But,
I do agree a little bit, and we won't get totally into it because this isn't the religion stream.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think that is a big part of Christianity's success in the world, is that like its whole deal is about like accepting
passivity.
The terrible things that are going on to you.
Right.
And it's just like, it's a good thing for powerful people to latch on to. Just be like, yeah, that's what you should do. Just fucking take it, bitch.
Right. Yeah. And it's like the Pope, like in the early cult of Rome, the Pope was the leader of the early Pope was the leader of the pagan sect, which is why like all the ceremonial magic, ritual, like pagan-based shit that I do, it looks just like a Catholic mass. There's a reason for that, man. Like it's just a co-option of paganism and a quelling of the Judaic movement so that they could reign supreme throughout history. So yeah, I don't know, man.
You hear
Check
that,
yourself
Joe?
when you believe.
We're talking
right,
shit
Joe.
on you right now. Call back in
That's
if
not
you
his
dare.
fault. It's Boston, dude. There's nothing. Boston does a number on that fucking town. There's
All right. Okay, so anyway. Yeah. So schooling. What are your thoughts?
I don't know, man. So you've got like, I've got some weird stories in all departments. Grade school and like preschool was kind of strange for me. Not in the way that like most people would ever want to share with like a human being, especially in a public space. So maybe that would be like a place to start.
Well, we don't know really who you are. You're just some man with some common first name.
Yeah. I was in my preschool years, I was kicked out of 3 preschools. I know one of them was for not sharing. I was held back a year even in the last
in preschool.
Yeah. Like they convinced my parents. I don't know if they just wanted like another year of money, because I was like borderline. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm on the spectrum. I haven't been like officially investigated, but when
gay
I like,
spectrum?
look back, say that again.
The gay spectrum.
Yeah, that one too. I am non-binary, so like I would be gay, but I don't even know how to define that shit given my state of mind.
Okay, I've never heard of anybody being held back in preschool or having any trouble at all in preschool. Cause
oh God, yeah, my stories are ridiculous. So there was at least the third one. Well, okay, the second one that I was at, I have some memories of, and I remember I was outside, and this kid was on one of those horses that was like on a sprint. Yeah. And he was going back and forth on it, rocking back and forth on this thing. And it's weird because all this happened at one time. So I remember it very clearly. But yeah, he's rocking on a thing, and it something like he gets caught on it and falls forward and it ends up like ripping off his fingernail.
Ooh.
And it was awful. It was like screaming in pain, and it looked like a slice of pizza if you pulled the cheese off of it. It was disgusting.
That's
so.
Yeah. Okay.
At the same time, like as he's yelling behind me, over my like right hand shoulder, I hear this yelling, but it's coming from like a young girl. Or it sounds like it's like very high pitched. I turn around and there's this like huge dude that's got this girl that I don't remember, the exact situation or who she was or whatever. I remember she's pretty. I remember liking her, but he's got her like pinned up against a tree, and she's like screaming, and like I don't know if this guy had like developmental issues or what. I know I did. So when I saw this happening, I ran at him and I just lashed both my hands around his neck and started squeezing as hard as I could. And I remember his face turning like blue and like his skin like kind of forming around my through my hands. And then all of a sudden, like I get hit with this huge weight, and it ended up being the teacher or whatever who tackled me to the ground, like stopping me from strangling the life out of this little kid. But that was the first like shitty incident, and that got me sent to the third preschool.
Was it a male or female teacher who was bringing you down?
It was a female teacher. She looked very much like like a old babushka. Okay. She's very stocky. Like she was built like a linebacker, dude. I got hit like a motherfucker.
Do you remember anything about the afterwards of that? Did you have any experience of like trying to explain what happened, or is it all just that's what you remember?
That I don't remember. I do remember an incident in 6th grade though, where I was like racing to the playground, and I was racing this chick Julia, and I swear I was on the spectrum. Please don't, like, I have more sense now. Like, I'm not of that violent of a person anymore, and like I'm empathetic. But like at the time, we're racing for the swings, and I want that fucking swing. There's only fucking like I want the swing, and we're passing a street lamp in the parking lot. And I shove her, like as we're running full force, like into the street light. And yeah, the hospital, the ambulance had to come and take her away. So that night,
how?
Yeah.
What happened?
Exactly? She ended up being okay. But like I guess she had been like knocked on. She ran into the metal pole, and, like because it was like it's like there's the concrete at the base of the light. And then it turns into the metal part.
You pushed her into some metal.
Right. Yeah, kind of right at that time, so that like it would take her out. I was thinking strategically. I wasn't thinking like empathetically.
You're thinking how to win the race. You're not thinking about the welfare of your combatants.
And I'm just sitting there swinging on the swing. And she's laying on the ground, and it's like slowly creeping in what's just happened, and that's kind of a terrifying experience. I've had that quite a few times. Earlier experience, go ahead.
Well, just quickly, you said you're swinging on the swing, and you're realizing what happened. Like you're realizing that what you did caused damage. Like were you? How were you feeling?
Yeah. And then it was terrible. Like I felt awful about it because it brought back some earlier memories of like, when I was younger, like I would do things like that impulsively with no thought whatsoever, and it wasn't. It was like the violent reaction of the world around me to what I did. Like I didn't really like understand necessarily. So. Yeah, it's hard to put it into words, and it does make me sound like a complete psychopath. But like
kids are psychos. That's
and I think that is part of it. And I was like, I'm an adopted only child, in like a dysfunctional household. there's like a trifecta. Of,
Well,
like,
now
you
you're
know,
making
that-
excuses for yourself.
That's very true.
No, sorry. So tell me this last third story. What were you beginning to get to?
Well, so I go to this new preschool, and we were able to go swimming every now and then. That's like the big benefit. I love going swimming at this time. It's my favorite shit. Love swimming. And so like these pool privileges, I had already been in trouble for some other thing. One of the things I got in trouble that made no sense whatsoever was like I didn't want to eat a frozen banana covered in chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
So like that was literally a strike against me, and that was my most recent strike. So I didn't want to eat fucking chocolate.
How did that go? They were just like, come on, Dan, eat this. What the fuck's wrong with you?
They were so mad because they were so convinced. Because like legitimately, a frozen banana dipped in chocolate is delicious. Like it's objectively good.
It's objective.
I mean, but like I don't. You know, at the time, I'm like like why a banana and then the freezer and then you're trying to put a chocolate, like everything about that, everything about my upbringing and everything about my intuition says fuck everything about this. And so I stood my ground about it, and yeah, they put me in a corner like in the other end of the fucking building in the dark. It was super
because
weird.
you wouldn't eat it.
I swear to God, yes. Yeah. And at the same time that this was going on, I was watching a small girl eat Play-Doh. And I'm like, that girl's eating Play-Doh. She eats Play-Doh all the time. Like, what? Well, like, I don't consume toxic products. Like, what? Where's your focus right now? So anyway, that's the precursor. Anyway, I'm about to, if I get one more strike against me, I'm going to lose my fucking swimming privileges. So this kid, I remember we're all like changing in this weird locker room, bathroom thing that we had there. This place is called Kinder Care. Some kind of weird, I don't know, probably secretly Nazi operation. I have no idea, but my family has weird connections to that too. But so I'm in this strange thing, getting dressed, and I forget my clothes. I got to run out and come back, and I don't remember what this kid says to me. Oh, I said something. I said like crap or damn or something. I don't know. But anyway, I just remember him specifically doing that. Shit. You remember when that was like the worst thing that could happen to you?
Like, oh, I'm about to go tell somebody about this.
And that is exactly what he said. He's like, I'm gonna go tell. And so, like something out of like a weird horror like action, like I lifted up the toilet seat and forced his hand down into it and slammed it onto his head 3 times.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And then he started crying so bad, and he was bleeding out of his nose, and then it starts to hit me like, oh shit, I did something terrible. So I start to wipe away the blood, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. Look, I'm sorry. Listen, I'm like, look, I didn't mean to, okay? But listen, you can't tell on me. We're gonna go swimming, okay? Just calm down. We're gonna go. Yeah, it was. That was my preschool adventures, and at least the ones that I remember.
It was Dan, right?
Right.
Dan, a couple quick questions here at the end for you.
Yeah.
And we'll wrap this up. How old are you now?
I'm about to turn 36.
Whoa, hell yeah. Okay. So
yeah.
What do you think, and this is the final question, is having these experiences as a young child, and you recognize that like you were very young, it's like young kids are crazy. They don't think like adults. They have their own whole thing going on. So yeah, so what is
underdeveloped?
How does that affect what you might think about your future children, or if you have children now? Like, how do you feel like you would deal with such a situation if you had a kid that was just like you, getting kicked out of preschool to preschool? I've never heard of anybody getting kicked out of preschool in my life.
Yeah, 3 of them.
So how do you think you would deal with that?
It would be very difficult. In fact, this is, not to get too personal, but one of my relationships, we did, while we thought that it could maybe someday, it wasn't the right timing for us. So, I did get an abortion specifically because we were both batshit insane. Like, I mean, and especially at the time, like completely unstable. And it was like the most beautiful relationship in the world, but like one that like nobody would believe or understand, like outside of it. So, and one that, like she already had a daughter, and her daughter is just like her. Just like her, looks just like her, talks just like her, incredibly smart, just like her. Can name fucking, I don't even know how old anymore. She was like 6, 7. Could name any plant, knew all kinds of rocks, like just genius. But a burdened, already showing the same signs of burden, nightmares every night, not able to sleep, like sort of showing preliminary signs of like schizophrenia, sort of like she suffered from. So yeah, we chose just to not. So in my case, like if I were dealing with that, that's something that I have been like preparing for a long ass time. And the last time that I was in a relationship, it was so fulfilling. It was the first one where I got to be, I was democratically elected the new dad. And I had these 3 young, beautiful children, love me so much. I adore them to death. And it was a very rewarding experience. So I've been slowly training myself because I know that if that happens, I'm going to need a lot of money, a lot like better temperament. I just have to be a much better person in order to do that. So yeah, I think it requires a lot of people, and I think the people that deal with those people are heroes, and it's, and nobody really writes about them in books except for people that eventually accomplish something and they thank them in their autobiography.
Do you think that it comes down to just being a role model and like living your life in a way that like kids can live up to, or do you feel like there's something that could have been imparted to you when you were a kid that would have changed your outlook?
I see. I'm hesitant to say that something would have changed my outlook because one thing that I noticed is that I took a lot of the lessons that I learned as a kid and I sort of like malappropriated them. Like I sort of took the wrong lessons from the stoicism of my father and the wrong lessons from like the aggression of my mother, convincing myself that I had done otherwise. So I can't really say for sure that would necessarily make a difference, but I do know that it is through my exploration of self, through my development as a human being, and my experience on this time, or through my time on Earth, all the reading, all the experience, all the just stuff that's happened to me in the introspection, that I've been able to live authentically for at least long enough of a period that just people are sort of like attracted to it or recognize it. And I mention this just because the kids, me being so myself and being in touch with still my inner child and like a lot of, other things, it led to this very deep connection that really, you think of what it's like to be a dad, but you don't really know until you've got that responsibility.
And that's like something I think is a very interesting question of just like, as a parent, like there's what you cognizantly want to impart on your children, and that's one thing, but there's also just like who you are and how you act, and kids notice and they watch and they learn, like not as much through what like the parents are like, all right, let's sit down now and this is lesson time and you're gonna do exactly what I say like in this lesson period, as much as they do just like kind of
more of a free form thing. And that was actually the issue. And now that you mention it, I realize that I actually went through this ordeal that you're talking about. Because the youngest of the three, the boy, was going around with this sharp stick, and he was like doing this little dance where he was like putting his front foot forward and then rocking back while like stabbing forward with it with the stick. And he was singing a song going, "Stab her in the throat. Stab her in the throat." This motherfucker was in the hallway practicing to stab one of his two sisters in the throat. So yeah, I remember having a talk with his mother about that, and I didn't know how to handle it. So yeah, I failed. I was like, I think he's going to be a serial killer. Like, I didn't take my own personal experience into account at all. Like, I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, just the sheer shock of it. Because, and plus the two children used to, I don't know, the daughters would be at each other's throats literally over, I don't know, random YouTube videos and Roblox bullshit. So it was an interesting experience. Like, I definitely learned a lot. It's a lot of work. I don't know how the hell people do it. I understand why I never wanted kids. But at the same time, I totally get why they're kind of amazing. So.
All right, Dan, thank you for calling in. Appreciate it.
Yeah, as always. Take care, man.
You too, man. Nice. Very good. Okay. I put on Do Not Disturb mode again. I'm going to take another break here. Let's see. This is like a 6. This is a shorter break. We'll see if I make it back in time. All right. Be back in a few.
stars. There's no stars. There's lights out.
Just made it. Just barely. Okay, before we get back into the calls, I've got a message. I've got a voicemail from Moxie Famous, who can't call in, but he wanted to relay his experience here. So here we go.
Hey man, sorry I missed you. Been working on this drywall stuff all day and can't really tune into the stream. Anyway, as you know, I was homeschooled as a kid, so I don't have much schooling experience. But I do have a pretty alright homeschooling story that I think I can tell. So, we were part of a local homeschooling group, and one of the things which the group did was everyone would get together at a public park every Thursday, so the kids would get some socialization and the mothers would get to gossip. This was called Park Day. One of the most fun parks was Calabasas Park. It was big, 3-tier metal and wood play structure, had a long, straight metal slide, tons of fields for sports, and there were a bunch of dirt BMX ramps, which some local BMX fellas had made there in a glen. And it was a popular BMX spot. It was listed on BMX enthusiast websites then in the early 2000s. It was a good spot. What us kids would do is we would go down to the BMX track outside of eyeshot of the Circle of Moms and play war, which consisted of splitting all the kids in the territory into two, and then spending the entire afternoon throwing fallen oak galls and dry gulching each other. Now, after taking a couple dry oak galls to the head, I quickly decided that I wanted out of the fray, and I went off looking for other things to do at the park. Big park, plenty to do. Don't need to take oak galls to the head. Well, the war carried over into the next week and continued, and apparently the ammunition had graduated from oak galls to dirt clods. Hard, dry California clay. And at some point, a dirt clod was thrown which had a rock in it. And what do you know? It was my brother who had thrown that rock, and the head it had hit belonged to Steve, the Park Day bully. Steve was a nasty little piece, and so was his mother. What followed that incident was a long, drawn-out drama among the mothers, a threatened lawsuit, and a Park Day banning of Calabasas Park because apparently the park was the problem, not all the stupid, wicked children. Park Day never returned to Calabasas Park, and shortly after the incident, the BMX ramps were fenced off by the city for a number of years. So, if there are any BMXers who lost access to the wonderful ramps and track at Calabasas Park in the early 2000s, now you know the story. It was all because of a bunch of dumb homeschoolers playing war. All right, I gotta get back to this drywall stuff. Good luck with your stream, man. Hope it's a good one.
Hey, thanks, Moxie. Thanks for the good luck wishes. That's rough about those dirt clods. Oh shit, Google's working again.
Call from
Bizarro Joe.
What?
to accept.
Yo! What?
Oh, hi,
Who's this?
Joe.
Joe?
Yes,
You're the third Joe today.
I'm Bizarro Joe though, so I'm a chick.
What?
I'm Bizarro Joe, so I'm a chick.
Yeah, you're a whole new class of Joe. I'm turning you up here because I can't barely hear you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It's probably the fact I mumble.
No, you're good. All right, Joe, you're calling into the schooling stream. Did you have something you want to say about your schooling?
Well, I have a very different experience with school. I recently graduated with honors and all that stuff, but
From which part? What level?
From which, just my associates. I'm going to a 4-year.
Okay.
In the fall, but it was all paid for, and I didn't have much trouble because I was a teen mom, and now I'm 32. and I'm the cool sorority chick because I can actually buy alcohol.
Nice. You're the one that they look up to?
Yeah, and it's been pretty awesome and pretty easy, and I feel bad for all these people that have so much trouble with it. But
Well, okay, so wait. So what's your major?
I'm going for English and special education. My oldest is disabled.
Okay. And you haven't been having any trouble with school? You like school? You like the education aspect of it?
Yeah, I've been fighting cancer and had like 6 different surgeries so far just these 2 years.
God damn.
Yeah, it was easy. Like I said, I feel really bad for people who struggle. And the great thing is, like, the loans I have taken out, since I'm disabled, once I file for disability, they go away.
That's pretty sweet.
So my advice to everybody is just be a single mother with cancer, and you can just take advantage of the system. Sexy times, everything.
When did you discover you had cancer?
I found out in 2016. It started out in my uterus, and I got a hysterectomy, and then it spread to my feet, which is really weird.
Your feet?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that. Cancer of the feet.
Yeah, well, it's spindle cell sarcoma, so it attacks soft tissue damage, and I did a lot of work in very high heels. So they said I had the feet of a 70-year-old factory worker.
I don't know what that means. Is that a good
no,
thing?
I guess just be careful how much you strip.
So school was easy to you in comparison to being treated for cancer?
Yeah. I had drugs too, though, so that helped. I was high most of the time.
What was your experience then, like, in going to school? Was it something right out of high school or something you got to later?
No, I was raised in a cult, so, like, I didn't really get much education. I even thought, like, rabies was a common thing because they just didn't teach me anything.
Joe,
Yeah?
you're all over the place here. You got cancer. You grew up in a cult. You love school.
I know.
I don't know what to ask you right now. This is a lot of information.
I'm a bit overwhelming of a person. I've had sex with at least one person in chat right now.
Oh my God, Joe! No, we don't want to. I don't want to hear that. That's going to give everyone in chat. First of all, I don't read the chat at all.
Oh no, I'm not right now. No way.
But God, you're gonna make everyone in chat horny for you, and
Oh God. Well, I do have an only thing, but
really?
Yes, I do.
Joe,
I dress up in costume.
Holy mackerel! You are all over the place. Send me your OnlyFans just so I can.
Okay, it's Mando Mills because I do Mandalorian armor.
What?
Mandalorian armor, like Star Wars, Boba Fett.
You do like cosplay, OnlyFans, Star Wars?
Yeah, and Moth Girl.
I'm
sorry.
Seriously at a loss for words. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna ask you about, Joe. Okay, Joe, you take it from here. This is your interview now. You get to say whatever the hell you want. I don't have any questions to ask you, but just whatever you think is most pertinent right now. Go for it, Joe.
Well, I just want to say that the special education system needs overhauled, and that's why I went into the field to begin with. I'm autistic, and when I was younger, like I said, no education, nothing. I tried to go to school, ended up married and a mom by the time I was 18. And people really need to understand the opportunities they have even just to go to school. And, you know, it was so hard, and now it's really working out for me. And
what do you do now? What? Sorry, I've already forgot. Like I'm thinking about the OnlyFans. That's not your only job.
No, I work several jobs. I do a lot of charity work too.
And how did that evolve from your schooling experience? How did your schooling lead to your professional work?
Well, my professional work on OnlyFans, that was just leading up to needing cash for medicine. But my experiences before that with the cult and being a mom, and there's this thing called IEPs, individualized education plans for children who are special needs. And I would go to these meetings, and I would pretty much almost get into fist fights because the system is awful. So I was like, fuck it, I'll do it myself. And so I started school.
Wait, you started a cult?
No, I started school.
Oh, sorry. It's okay. I misheard you.
Oh, the cult part just meant I got married as a teenager. My mom sold me for like $300 a month.
What? Joe, what the hell are you talking about?
It was a thing in the cult that I was raised in, that you got married young, to whoever got you pregnant, and that was that.
What kind?
We were divorced by the time I was 22.
What kind of cult? All right, let's just drop schooling entirely, because this is just. There's a lot of topics to get in here. Let's just start with the cult, because that was what you were growing up with. How early were you involved in the cult?
I was born into it.
And it's a religious cult or a hippie?
Yes, it was closely. It's kind of a backwater sect of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Okay. Like, were you living on a commune, or was it a community, just like you drove to each other to the cult practices?
No, they had buildings, they had kingdom halls and stuff like that, and then they would have like backyard events that were like bonfires and things like that.
And that's where you got knocked up?
No, my mom didn't want me to date anybody in our congregation, because then they find out that she was drinking. So she felt outside of the cult, and that's eventually how I got away from that part, but then ended up with like a pedophile.
Joe, you're throwing around these buzzwords here.
Sorry.
I'm shocked. Just pick one. You got to do this now. You got to run this interview. You got to tell me give me the common thread of your life. I don't know where the hell to ask. What has been going on with you? You were born into a cult. Something about a pedophile. You got an OnlyFans. What? You have cancer also.
I've done a lot of things. I don't like to stay still.
Okay.
It's hard to survive, and when you're trying to survive, especially with no skills, you end up in a lot of weird situations as a woman.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm grasping right now. I'm grasping so hard to think of what I can possibly ask you about. There's too many things. You've brought up too many topics.
I didn't mean to overload you.
Yeah, Joe.
I got so excited.
Yeah. Yeah, Joe.
I missed your call last week, so I felt really bad.
Did I call you?
Yeah, and I missed your call last week.
Why?
Because I was still trying to call in.
Ah, okay, good. Nice.
Yeah.
All right, well,
I'm sorry.
No, we can't end it on this. We have to end on a high note. Okay, Joe, tell me then. Of all, hold on. Give me 1 second here.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm just digesting all of this at once. Whoa, okay. I'll ask you, Joe, the same question I ended Catholic Joe's call on. You said that you've had a very positive experience with education. So what would be your advice besides telling people to get cancer and stuff? Like, What would be your life advice to someone who is considering college? Like, what did you do in college that you feel was different from other people that like made you appreciate it more, or
Have a plan. Don't just go to college to go to college. Have a plan for yourself. Check the job market. Look at the projections. And, apply for scholarships and grants and do that stuff. And it'll go a lot easier.
don't just do it because someone's telling you to do it? Did someone tell you to go to college?
Oh, no, I wasn't allowed to.
Ah, is that a cult thing?
Ex-husband thing.
Oh, man. So where are you at now? What's just your current situation? I'm so god dang curious right now.
Well, I'm getting ready. I just got a full ride scholarship to go to a 4-year college for my sorority. So I'm going to be going there to finish up my degree. Meanwhile, I take care of my children, and I do side work, ghostwriting, art, and OnlyFans.
Oh, okay, you said OnlyFans. I thought you said oh my god, but you said OnlyFans.
No, OnlyFans. It's pretty decent.
How's that going?
Pretty good. I think I've cornered a pretty unique market.
With the Mandalorian armor?
Yeah, I made it.
Logan?